Hey, you. Yeah, that's right. I'm talking to you. Are you looking for the best way to promote your podcast? It's easy. Just advertise your podcast to your ideal target audience. That's right, listeners of similar podcasts. Podbean has the best and most cost-effective options for you. Just go to the website sponsorship.podbean.com/STR. That's right, your friends here at Scout Team Radio are hooking you up. Go to sponsorship.podbean.com/STR and you will get the best deals to get your podcast rolling. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy Scout Team Radio.
Yeah.
You want to like them, but you can't.
Are you listening?
What?
Are you listening?
Did you bring me on this show to insult me?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all don't want it with us, man. You straight gangsters over here,
Straight
man.
gangsters. Yeah, good morning and welcome back. You are listening to Scout Team Radio. We bring it to you hot and live each and every weekday morning. I am one of your gracious hosts. They call me Loudbeard.
You are the most egotistical, self-deluded person I have ever met.
It's more like Chris America, but the man on the other microphone, he is a great patriot. Sometimes he tells me he's my favorite patriot, and that would be
Yeah, it's your boy, Chris America, coming to you live this Friday, April the 5th, 2019, Loudbeard. And since you threw me that pass, I'm going to throw it right back at you really hard, just like Bledsoe threw a ball right at the chest of Joel Embiid.
Oh, yeah. Getting hot and heated on this Friday morning. We got some Thursday night NBA action where Eric Bledsoe is just not having any shenanigans from Joel Embiid. He's taking the basketball and he's like trying to throw it through him like it was a fatality. That's the kind of basketball I like to watch. And it's that hot, it's that heavy here on this Friday morning. I don't think I've been this excited for a show in a very long time because we have a fantasy draft this Friday, today, that is one of the best that we've ever had, and it is finishing moves from professional wrestling because it is WrestleMania weekend, isn't it, Chris America?
That it is, Loudbeard. And I think we need to change the seating rules. The 76ers and the Pacers need a 7-game series now. I need to see this.
Yeah, we do. We need to see that. And we do have a celebrity guest picker for our fantasy draft tonight, don't we? Or tonight.
Yeah,
Tonight's
today,
like 30 minutes from
it depends.
now.
Hey, we're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts. We're on the Barn Burner Network. It could be tonight for those listening. Or if you're on the other side of the globe, like in Asia, it's tonight there. So we're just making sure we cover all the bases for all our fans.
We are. So Scotty Kaiser from Craft Brewed Sports got a chance to listen to their show last night. I know you got a chance to listen also. They come on live every Thursday night, 8:30 p.m. on 12 Ounce Sports Radio and on Facebook Live. We listen to their show, but our guest celebrity picker is going to be Scotty Kaiser from the Craft Brewed Sports crew, and we are excited about that. So we are going to do something new. We're going to do a Twitter live celebrity guest picker. So we're getting involved, we're getting interactive, and if anybody wants to tweet in at us, you can always hit us up at Scout Team Radio where we get interactive. Man, you know what else makes today great, Chris America?
What's that?
The fact that I sent it over to you and you had your microphone turned on. I sit here and I say, please have his microphone turned on, please. And then you nailed it. You nailed it. You actually had your microphone turned on.
Like
so
a Tim Tebow home run.
Just like that, I knew that this was going to be a good day. This was going to be a good day. And Tim Tebow making his debut for the Syracuse Mets, right?
Yes.
Can we not give an amen to that, brother?
Amen, brother.
Gosh, everything's going good today. And I'll be honest with you, I probably spent, usually I take a good amount of time preparing notes for the show. I spent the majority of my time preparing finishing wrestling moves because I was so serious about this, and I don't even know my strategy yet. I thought maybe do I go with the funny finishing moves or do I go serious? How will the fans vote? This is a tough category. I am intrigued by how this is all going to play out.
Well, Loudbeard, how about we do this? How about, since it's National Poetry Month, I read you a poem, help you relax. We'll get the bongos going again. You know what I mean? Are you feeling that?
Yeah, no, I'm listening right now. I'm just waiting in anticipation for the bongos.
All right. This poem.
Come on, master producer.
This
Where are
poem
your bongos?
I call loser. Hold on, I'm getting the bongos going.
I'm waiting for
There we go. All right. In the time of chimpanzees, I was a monkey. Butane in my veins. So I'm out to cut the junkie. With the plastic eyeballs, spray paint the vegetables. Dog food stalls with the beefcake pantyhose. Kill the headlights and put it in neutral. Stock car flamin' with the loser and the cruise control. Babies in Reno with the vitamin D. Got a couple of couches, sleep on the love seat. Someone keeps saying I'm insane to complain about a shotgun wedding and a stain on my shirt. Don't believe everything that you read. You get a parking violation and a maggot on your sleeve. So shave your face with some mace in the dark, saving all your food stamps and burning down the trailer park. Yo, cut it. Soy un perdedor. I'm a loser, baby. So why don't you kill me? Double barrel shotgun.
Wow,
you.
that was beautiful, my friend. That
Thank you.
that was obviously original lyrics because I've never heard anything quite so beautiful. And
Well, it was a poem.
Just,
It wasn't a song.
I'm sorry, I apologize.
I
The poetry.
spent all night. I spent all night writing it.
Poems can have lyrics.
is-
Lyrics just mean words for a certain thing.
That's true.
Like
You're right.
a
You're
poem.
right.
You're lyrical genius with your poetry. You're a poem master.
Yeah.
Wow. And
My favorite line is I don't even know what made me come up with it was beefcake pantyhose.
Yeah. That
I don't know what
it
that
feels
is.
so
It just came to
different
my mind.
hearing it in spoken word than actually listening to the song. Not that that was a song originally or anything,
Right.
but when you hear it in spoken word, it does. It comes with a whole new meaning. Like some of those lyrics, I'm like, what the hell does that mean? I don't even like you've heard the song thousands of times, but some of it you're like, I didn't even know he said that, and that doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
With the plastic eyeballs, spray paint the vegetables. It makes
That's what
total
we
sense.
do. Yes, it does. It comes together. And Chris America, now I'm really in a good mood because you've given me a good poem. We've got a great fantasy draft. And I've also looked at what's trending on Twitter. And when Billy Ray Cyrus is trending on Twitter, this is going to be an amazing
Oh
day.
man, the country is in a good place.
It
What's
is.
going on there?
It's some remix feature that has him in it that has people going crazy over. Apparently, it's pretty good. Pretty good. I haven't heard it. I can't give you any insight other than searching Twitter 30 seconds ago and seeing it. But other than that, yes. So, yeah. Let's see.
Okay, I
Old
see,
Town
like,
Road
the tweets.
featuring. Yep. Little
Huh.
Nas X walking back onto the country Billboard charts with the Billy Ray Cyrus approved remix of Old Town Road.
I can't wait to hear it.
I know. We should debut it live on the radio and hopefully not get sued. Or if we get sued, at least it's a worthwhile venture because we're still bringing the hot news. Maybe we can do
Also
that.
trending right now on Twitter is 80s music taught me. Got a couple of tweets here. 80s music taught me that it's safe to dance. It is safe to dance. You can dance
That's why
if
we
you
have a
want
safety
to.
dance. Yeah.
You can
We'll
leave
leave
your
our friends
friends
behind.
behind, Loudbeard.
But if you don't dance, I think I screwed that
You
up.
know what else 80s music taught me, according to Christy?
What's that?
That you should get money for nothing and chicks for free.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of good lessons in the 80s.
Like
You
you
know-
have to fight for your right to party.
Yeah, there was a time in the 80s when I was in a weird spot where I really wanted Jesse's girl.
You wanted, yeah, Jesse's girl is hot.
Ooh, she's the type of girl,
Why can't I find a woman like that?
I don't know. Why can't you find a woman like that? All right, Chris America, I'm going to get back to sports. Can I do that? I feel like we get off the rails sometime, but you talked a little NBA to get into.
Are you sure you don't want to whip it good?
Da-na-na-na-na-na. So the Bucks last night, even without Eric Bledsoe after he gets ejected for throwing a basketball through the head of Joel Embiid, they still go on to win 128-122 to clinch home court advantage throughout the playoffs. Is this a big advantage for the Bucks as they are going through this Eastern Conference playoffs?
Yeah. I mean, they're 27-14 on the road, 32-6 at home, so I think they're good either way, but you always want home court advantage. It's obviously a financial advantage for the owner and great for the fans.
So you said 32-6 at home. That's a pretty solid home record. So this has got to be pretty good for a team that maybe wasn't necessarily expected to be the number one seed coming out of the East when we started the season. I don't think there was a lot of people predicting that the Bucks would be there. Sixers, yes. Raptors, yes. But Bucks, I think they came a little bit out of nowhere. I mean, I think we thought they would be a playoff team, but they really stepped their game up. And for them to get home court advantage, I think that's going to be a pretty good deal for the Bucks. Hopefully they don't get stuck with that buzzsaw, the Orlando Magic, in round one.
Hopefully not. And I made a mistake. I just saw yellow jerseys and just said Pacers for some reason. You should have corrected me and said it's the Bucks. I knew it was the Bucks. It's just I'm sitting here looking at the video, and then I just saw yellow jerseys and said 76ers should play the Pacers first round.
Yeah, I didn't pick up what you meant by that. I was like, I think they are playing the Pacers. The Pacers are.
No, it's going to be if the
Sixers
standings
are 3.
stay.
Pacers, Celtics. You're right. Well, that's why I was like, what is he talking about?
I just saw yellow jerseys and my mind was just like,
you say crazy stuff all the time,
Pacers.
And I just acknowledge you. I just say, sure.
You just keep rolling.
I do. That's how this is
I had
live
to correct
radio.
it because I didn't want anybody to
think.
think I was an idiot who thought that Eric Bledsoe played for the Pacers.
I just thought you were, let's. We've got some tweets coming in, Chris America. I hate to throw off your Pacers 76ers series talk, but we have a tweet coming in. It says, fellas, the only thing that you need to know about what 80s music taught me is that he was just a city boy, born and raised in South Detroit. He took the midnight train going, and I'm not going to finish it. I'm going to let the listeners fill in the gaps there because
they're doing it right now in their heads.
Month.
You let them hanging, and right now they're singing it in their heads. And
you
know what? It's funny that you mentioned that because Loudbeard is just a small-town girl living in a lonely world. He would take the midnight train going
anywhere. Okay. All right. So, yeah, that's good. Good news there. Thank you, Chris America. I appreciate that. Thank you, Scotty Kaiser, coming in. Our celebrity guest picker is already coming in hot with the tweets. And that's what the 80s music taught me. The 80s was a good time. I know we got some shade earlier in the week when we were talking about the 80s, but the 80s, to me, still a good time. And you know what else is a good time, Chris America? I just got to mention this because we were talking basketball. I will say last night I was on FanDuel. I had gone on and registered FanDuel.com/STR, and I'm doing some NBA head-to-head competition, and I had a big win last night, Chris America, big win. I had to pick some of the best players out there, and I went with some of the hot names. De'Aaron Fox, great point guard. Rajon Rondo, he's kind of sneaky good in fantasy. I'm just saying. And Kevin Durant. So with my team last night, I won big money, and you can too. If you sign up right now on FanDuel.com/STR, you will get a deposit bonus, and you can have fun playing these games just like I did. And you could win some good money. So make sure you check that out. And don't be scared. They do have beginners-only categories where the experts that win all the money that are using algorithms for computers that you've heard all about are not allowed in these beginners sections. So you can go in, try it out, get that deposit bonus, and check out the beginner sections and maybe have yourself a good old time. So check it out. Once again, FanDuel.com/STR.
Do it.
Yeah, do it. So other guys doing bad stuff. You talked about Bledsoe. Our guy Anthony Davis, man, he just does not give a flying flip about anything. And he has a game the other night. It's a home game, but it's against the Hornets. They lose because they don't care. They're out of the playoffs. Hornets actually have something to fight for. And Anthony Davis flips off a fan. He just says, you know what? Screw it. I don't like these guys. This guy over here is heckling me. Gives him the good old bird right there on the court. Oh, man. And now the league is bringing down the scales of justice right now on Anthony Davis's head. They're giving him the good old $15,000 fine. They're like, Anthony Davis, you make millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars. We're going to hit you where it hurts, and we're going to give you the classic $15,000 fine. Do you think Anthony Davis cares?
No, I don't, but I think we should start getting alarmed, Loudbeard. This is becoming an issue now where the fans and the players are constantly at each other, and it's not a good look for the NBA. The NBA needs to figure something out. They need to figure out why this is happening. Maybe I'm just overreading it, but I feel like there have been more incidents this season than any other time.
Well, the Russell Westbrook one was a huge incident. Now we have this. Now, it is no malice in the palace, I will say.
No.
But we want to go back to that day and age? Absolutely not. Don't you agree?
I do, and I want to place the blame on the fans because I don't know that the players would just go willy-nilly, just start flicking people off for no reason. It feels like a lot of these keyboard warriors are coming out from behind their Twitter machines and going into the audience and taking their tweets live.
Which is surprising because that keyboard courage that most of these people have, typically they don't go out in public with it. But now you get a little brave. You go on Twitter and you're behind the guise of whatever Twitter handle you have, and you go out there and you get some confidence, right? You troll different fan bases, you troll different celebrities and different athletes, and then all of a sudden you get a little confidence. You build up your chest a little bit and you say, I can go out and I can talk trash to these guys. See, there's 3 security guards sitting right there. That athlete who could kick my ass would never get past those security guards, so I can say and do whatever I want because right now I'm a man.
Yeah, and maybe I should have overstated that it was all the fans' fault. Maybe it's a little bit half and half. Like maybe the players are
like
just
your
sensitive.
Coffee. You like it
Yeah.
with a little half and half. Gotcha.
Little sensitive with the booing and the shouting and the "you sucks" that they get a little thin skin. Maybe there's a little some of that going on too. Either way, the NBA needs to figure it out, and they need to take care of it because the last thing the NBA needs are players warring with fans because we're the ones that are going to bring you the money, and if you turn us off or go to war with us, we'll turn you off.
Now, do you think an NBA player flipping the bird is somebody going to war?
No, I'm just saying, but it's heading that way where it's just incident after incident after incident where it's like, okay, now we just have nothing but every other game, a fan getting flipped off or a player cursing out a fan, telling him and his wife that you better watch out and stuff like that.
I've only got one solution for you. Lifelong ban for Anthony Davis. That's the only thing that's going to fix this whole thing.
What was that? You cut out.
I said a lifelong ban for Anthony Davis. That's the only thing that will fix this whole situation. Just ban him for life. Set the example. Nobody will ever act up again.
I have a better punishment.
All right.
Lifelong excommunication to the Orlando Magic.
Okay.
Excommunicate
that's a
him
good
from
one.
New Orleans and send him to the island of Orlando.
All right, so Memphis Spence just tweeted in. He's asking at Scout Team Radio, what will stop heckling in the NBA? I like my idea of the lifelong ban for Anthony Davis, but your idea seems to be even better. Let's take all the really like top tier, elite, top echelon type NBA players, and anytime they do anything slightly bad, we just tell them they all have to come to the Orlando Magic. So when Russell Westbrook, Anthony Davis, and whoever else out there, we'll go DeMarcus Cousins because I'm sure he'll screw up somewhere down the line. We'll bring all of them over to the Orlando Magic, and maybe the Magic will actually have a great team, and these guys will learn their lesson because nobody else will want to come to this beautiful heavenly earth of a place known as Orlando.
You forgot Kevin Durant and all his burner accounts.
Oh man, you can't have a burner account in the NBA and think that that's okay. So Kevin Durant, because of his burner accounts, excommunicated to the Orlando Magic. This is also a great idea. Chris America, you have a lot of really great ideas this morning. I don't want your ego to get the best of you, but I am going to give you this slight compliment. Good job.
LeBron James for tampering with Anthony Davis.
Another one. Look, we got to bring them back together so they have to live with their shame. Don't you agree? That would be a good idea. Yeah? No? Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I was coughing.
Okay. So I'm going to move on, Chris America. We've talked NBA for a while. Well, there's a lot of bad things
That
going
was
on
a
in
brilliant idea, Loudbeard.
Okay, thank you. So last night, and the guys on Craft Brew Sports talked about this a little bit, but there was a no-hitter going on. Cleveland's Trevor Bauer had a no-hitter through 7.
Did they pull him?
He got pulled.
Are you? That's two times
This is
in
an
a
epidemic. This is
Okay.
an epidemic. I can't believe it.
Baseball has to put a stop to this.
This is
Because-
worse than the fans fighting with the players in the NBA.
It is.
The managers pulling the pitchers when they have a no-hitter, to me, this is worse than Anthony Davis flipping a bird. This needs to be stopped. We need to intervene and make something happen immediately because I cannot stand for this for one more second.
Who were the teams again?
Cleveland was playing last night, and they were going up against, I want to say it was the Blue Jays. I'm sorry. My notes, I didn't write it down. I believe they
All
were
right,
going
so
up against
either way-
the Blue Jays.
Either way,
Yep.
it wasn't a game where everybody's like, we got to pay attention to this game. But when ESPN or Twitter or somebody sends you that alert to your phone, hey, no hitter up on board, you're dropping whatever you're doing and you're finding that game. And no hitters, perfect games, those boost ratings. And if I turn the channel and I see the manager walking out to the mound and he's pulling that no hitter, you know what I'm doing?
What are you
Going
doing?
back to whatever I was doing before.
That's right.
So
You lose it.
MLB,
You
you need
lose
to put a
ratings.
stop to this.
Now, Cleveland, they have the longest streak for how many games they've had without a no-hitter. It has been 6,010 games since the Cleveland Indians have had a no-hitter.
So basically like 3 seasons.
Pretty much like 3 seasons. But for Cleveland, like the fans are probably thinking, man, it would be really great if we could celebrate a no-hitter. All of the other teams get to celebrate a no-hitter from time to time. Why can't we have one? And they bring in a reliever, and then they bring in their closer, and their closer, Brad Hand, ends up letting up a hit in the 9th inning. So not only do they not let the no-hitter goes away, but it's like you brought in 2 extra relievers, and I don't get it. I just don't get it, Chris America. I don't know how you can explain it any better to me because you could say whatever you wanted to tell me, like I could win $1 million if I just say it's a good idea, and I'd still have trouble saying it's a good idea to pull out your starting pitcher. I don't care how many pitches he has. He was at a 117 pitch count, whatever. I don't care. Let the man finish it out.
Yeah, unless he says, look, my arm is hurting and I'm tired, you let him finish it out. It's got to stop. It's going to ruin record books. It's going to ruin legacies. Like, this guy could have 15 no-hitters in his, at the end of his career, but then it ends up being 5 because he got pulled in 10 of them. And I'm being over-exaggerating, but it's just insane.
It is insanity, Chris America. And you're right. We're talking about legacy. We're talking about all of these things. And all of it gets taken away by the decision of that coaching staff, of that manager. Just I don't like it. I don't get it. I don't want anything about it. I don't know.
Well, Loudbeard, we've talked a lot about what happened last night. Let's talk about this huge weekend coming up. We got Final Four weekend. We have WrestleMania coming up. Maybe some teams, maybe some wrestlers will increase their legacy. How excited are you about the Final Four?
I am excited about the Final Four because, brackets busted, right? I went all in on Duke just like 75% of America. So I don't care about the bracket anymore. Like that part of me is done. That's week, round 1, round 2, you're really into the bracket. To me, now it's all about let's watch some good college basketball. These are good teams. Auburn is making, to me, what is a historic run, beating some of the toughest teams to get where they're at. So I'd like to see, can Auburn finish it out? Or are they going to go up and take out, or is Virginia going to come in, the team, again, that had that big upset last season, coming back and making a deep run? So is Virginia going to finish going from the most humiliated team in the league last season to being the champion this season? That, to me, would be a great storyline. So I want to see how that plays out. On the flip side, Tom Izzo, is he going to continue his dominance in college basketball and run for a championship here with this season's Michigan State team? I love watching Michigan State because it is one of the best coached teams in all of college basketball. And then they're going up against this. To me, I'm going to call them the Cinderella because I had no earthly idea that Texas Tech was this good. They were never on my radar. They're the Red Radars. I'm going to call them that because they were not on my red radar. So the Red Raiders, the Texas Tech team, I had no idea that they were any good. So can they pull out this phenomenal upset and make a finals, make it to the final game and make a championship? That's what I want to see, Chris America. So yes, I'm back to some real college basketball, and I want to watch these games.
Yes, sir. A couple of things that stuck out to me. Somehow I got slightly into a college football playoffs conversation yesterday on Twitter. And one thing that stuck out to me about this is the ACC sent 3 teams to the first 4 seeds, right?
Yes.
It was Virginia, UNC, and Duke. And if this was how college basketball worked like college football, we'd be like, oh, man, the ACC is hands down the best conference in all of basketball. Look, they have 3 teams in the playoffs, and obviously with those kind of odds, an ACC team would have won it. Probably Duke. We would have said Duke's the best team ever, and the ACC is so great. It was ACC versus ACC in the championship game. ACC's the best ever, and nobody else is even close. But since they went through an actual tournament, the 2 top teams that everybody thought would make it to the Final Four, Duke and UNC, didn't. And the one team that I think maybe argued didn't belong in the 1 seed because of the upset that they always get to the tournament, they're the ones that actually made it through as a 1 seed, the only 1 seed to make it through into the Final Four. And part of me's kind of wanting to see that storyline play out, that Virginia storyline of, hey, they got upset last year by UMBC. They took that into the offseason. They used it as motivation. They came back with a vengeance and won the national championship.
That would be great. And that, you have good representation here from different conferences. This isn't this isn't 3 out of the 4 teams are ACC, right? So we're getting SEC, ACC. We're getting a good mix of conferences.
Big 12, Big 10.
Yeah, exactly. So you've got 4 out of the Big 6 for college basketball represented, which to me is good for college, right? You don't want it to be top heavy. I'm glad the ACC got upset with Duke and UNC not making it through. I'm glad because you get to see a little bit of a different spread, and it represents each conference.
And that's what happens when you have an actual tournament or playoff. It does get sorted out. Your opinions just weed it out that that's what all of us, me, you, and every single expert included, we really don't know what we're talking about. We really don't. Everybody that I can think of was saying, who's going to beat Duke? Duke is going to win the championship. And they didn't even make the Final Four.
Yeah, it is kind of a shame because they were the clear-cut number 1 favorite, the best odds, and they didn't even make the Final Four. So that proves that parity, right? We need to know that a tournament is going to weed out some teams and create just so much excitement and just such good rivalry. I don't know. I love the tournament. We talk about the college football stuff. I can't even talk about it anymore, how asinine the whole situation is. So,
all right. So who's your pick? Who's your pick for the finals?
I'm going to go Michigan State versus Virginia in the finals, and I'm going to go it's a coin flip for me, but I think I'm going to go Virginia. Virginia winning it all.
Man.
I'm going to go do that too, aren't you?
I'm gonna go Virginia to win it all, but since I have to argue with you, I'm gonna go Texas Tech beats Michigan State.
Okay.
I think the defense smothers them. Now, real quick, I just want to talk real quick about WrestleMania for a little bit. Right now, there's a lot of storylines going on about the WNBA, the women athletes in there. They want equal pay or they want more pay, and a lot of the argument against that is that the WNBA just isn't popular. It just isn't taking off. It's been around since, God, as long as I can remember, the 90s, and it just has never taken off. Where when you look at other sports or sports entertainment like UFC and now WWE, female athletes are taking off. They are as big of a draw as the men, and that is not more prevalent than this year's WrestleMania 35, where Ronda Rousey, Charlotte Flair, and Becky Lynch will headline WrestleMania. I don't know what my question is. Like, why do you think it's taken off in some areas for female sports and in other areas it just hasn't yet?
I think the difference is the sports entertainment aspect of the WWE. You can create that storyline that's different than the competitive
Well, that's why
part.
I kind of piggybacked it with UFC because, I mean, Ronda Rousey is UFC and WWE, and she's made it big in both places.
It's a very good, I mean, it's a valid argument. Maybe the team sport aspect, maybe that's the clincher. It's a little
True.
bit harder to get behind the team sport of it, where my daughter plays soccer and she plays college soccer, and we watch some of the professional women's leagues in Orlando. We've got a professional women's soccer team that has a
Orlando
lot
Pride.
of the Orlando Pride. They've got a lot of the women's national team players, a lot of big names, and they don't hardly get paid anything, even though when they won the World Cup, everybody knew them. They're household names, and they're here playing in a professional league getting paid, normal everyday person salaries, which compared to the millions of dollars that the men's soccer players get, or compared in the WNBA to the NBA, the men get paid so much more. But again, it's the popularity of it. Can you sell more tickets? Can you bring more viewership? Can you create more TV money? And unfortunately, those sports don't. And is it because of equality? I don't know. I just don't understand how you would be able to make those sports more popular. Now, I love watching women's soccer. I actually like watching the women's soccer more than men's soccer because I think they have a different finesse to it. And maybe it's just because watching youth sports, it was all girls soccer that I watched for the last 15 years. And now getting into the professional side, I just prefer to watch that over it. So I actually would be a better consumer for the women's side. Same thing with when you say UFC. When it is a great women's fight, I don't know why, but that is just as good of a draw, if not better, than any of the men's side. Minus a Conor McGregor showing.
Right.
Other than that, there are some women that I would pay to see, and we've got a big one coming up with Holly Holm and Amanda Nunes. That's big. Cyborg, huge. Like those UFC fights, I love those because they draw me in. So I think we're getting there, but yeah, the WNBA I never had an interest in it. And it's not that I don't like women's sports. It's just, I don't know what it is. It's just not the same. There's the athleticism. You can just tell a huge difference when you're watching a women's basketball game against a men's basketball game. And maybe that is why. I don't know.
Yeah, well, either way, WrestleMania looks to be huge. It always is, and kudos to the WWE for making a big push for the female wrestlers to get to this stage. And I think it's good for all of sports. I think it'll help women in all of sports to where it's like, yeah, you can be entertained by women, and women are amazing athletic specimens, and they can do anything that men can do on an entertainment side. Obviously, strength and everything else is different, but so I'm looking forward to it. But what I'm looking more forward to is on the other side of the break. It's going to be me versus you versus Twitter. Scott Kaiser, who's talked a lot of trash over the months in almost a year now of our drafts. So now he can put up or shut up. He's going to join us and tweet live his draft picks as we draft wrestling finishing moves.
All right, that sounds good. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm going to do a short commercial break because I am that excited for this fantasy draft. If you've been listening to Scout Team Radio for a long time, you know that myself, Loudbeard, has placed a bet or two in his day. That's right, I've lost the beard bet, I lost the romper bet, but one place I don't like losing is when I bet money, and I can easily do that at MyBookie. That's right, you can go to mybookie.ag, use promo code 12OZSports, and get a 100% deposit bonus up to $1,000. Hey, guess what? That is a lot of money. Do it.
Hey everybody, it's your favorite Patriot, Chris America, and I want you to listen every single weekday, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m., and on replays from 11 a.m. to noon of Scout Team Sports. Listen, George Washington did not cross over the ocean blue in 1492 to defeat the Nazis, so you can listen to the same tired national clickbait sports stories. So once again, tune in to us every single morning, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m., and then we replay from 11 to noon. I will see you there, and God bless America.
God bless America. That is right, Chris America. Thank you all for listening in. Once again, we are Scout Team Radio. He is Chris America. I'm Loudbeard. We bring it to you hot and live each and every weekday, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. live on 12-ounce Sports Radio. Replay at 11 a.m. We also drop it as a podcast. You can check that podcast out at our partner podcast network, barnburner.ca, or you can go in and search Scout Team Radio at Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, and you can catch all of our episodes. It is a great time, trust me. Also, make sure you interact with us. Get at us on Twitter. This morning, we've got some hot tweets coming in. At Memphis Spence, hitting us up. Good friend of the show, Memphis Spence, we thank you. He says, what are your top 3 favorite women's sports? I'm going women's soccer, I'm going WWE, and I'm going UFC. Those are my top 3. Book them, Dano. Book them. Awesome. Now, today is Friday. We do our fantasy draft, and we have a special celebrity guest picker that is on the show, and that is Scott Kaiser from Craft Brewed Sports. Scott, we appreciate you coming in and doing our Twitter live draft. He's going to interact with us all on Twitter because he's hitting us up at Scout Team Radio. He knows what it's all about, and I'm just ready, and I'm excited to get this thing kicked off because I spent more time preparing for this draft, and my strategy is terrible because I don't really have a strategy going in. I'm going to be one of those guys that plays it by ear and just sees what my competition is doing, because if my competition, they give some weak picks in round one when the first pick and the second pick, I know I got this. So, Chris America, you back with us?
Yeah, I'm back, and to answer Memphis Spence's question, what are my top 3 favorite women's sports, it would have to be the ones that I've watched the most, and that is UFC, women's volleyball, and women's soccer. Like those are the sports that I've actually. I take back women's
sand
soccer.
volleyball is fun. They get aggressive.
The women's beach volleyball, during the Olympic time, like both beach volleyballs are the 2 that I watch because I just love beach volleyball. Watching it, I love playing it, even though I haven't played it in like 10 years. But I do like watching it. And then I changed my mind to college softball. When the College World Series gets going, especially when the Gators are in it, I'm a huge fan.
Yeah, and there's a lot of Olympic sports out there that are a lot of fun to watch just at the Olympics, like the skiing or different things like that, the snowboarding. So just throwing that out there. Well, let's get started. You're going to be our number 1 draft pick. Scott's going to be number 2. I'm going to be number 3. We're going to go snake draft, so then I'll come back around with the 4th pick, and we'll go that direction. So, Chris America, I'm going to hand it over to you because if we don't hurry up and get going, we may run out of time because this is going to be electric.
All right, so I hate having the number 1 overall pick, especially when there's so many good choices to make. So I'm just going to make what I think is the fan favorite, what's my favorite, and just do it. Go with the Texas Rattlesnake, the Stone Cold Stunner. I mean, when he hits it and JR goes nuts over it, there's nothing like it. Whether he hits it in the middle of a match, whether he hits it on a future president of the United States, Donald Trump, if he hits it on Vince, and it's sometimes like the things he does with it afterwards. Like he'll be sitting there, he'll toast a beer to you, and then while you're chugging your beer, he'll flick you off, kick you in the gut, and then hit you with the stunner. It's fantastic. And then he drops down onto the mat and starts cursing you out to your face. There's just nothing like it. The old Stone Cold Stunner.
Oh, the stunner. So you're starting out pretty solid. Number 2 coming in, Scott Kaiser on Twitter Live right now at Scout Team Radio. Tune in, check it out. He has a beautiful GIF, and yes, it is a GIF. A beautiful GIF of The Undertaker doing the classic tombstone against Big Daddy Diesel, Kevin Nash. And it is a beauty, my friend, and that is a solid pick, Tombstone with number 2. Oh, boy, you guys did it all right. You left the door wide open for me.
The Tombstone pile driver isn't like his GIF doesn't even do it justice. Okay? When he sets that up and he's holding on to you, the crowd goes electric. He does this weird evil face where he rolls his eyes back, and then he hits you with it. You fall forward, and then he takes your arms and crosses them just like you've just been put into a coffin. And then goes with the 1, 2, 3, sticks his tongue out, rolls his eyes back. It is a fantastic finishing move. Good choice, and I'm jealous.
That is a quality pick. So I'm in the fortunate spot where my number 1 pick was available when it came to me at the 3rd pick. I thought one of you guys would take it. There is so many. But there's one of the most beautiful moments in wrestling history, and it was a moment where I shed a tear. And that was when Ric Flair was sitting there reeling, and Shawn Michaels was sitting at the corner of the ring, stomping his feet. He kind of voices quietly, "I love you," and gives the good old sweet chin music to Ric Flair, the best finishing move in all of wrestling. Some ain't nothing but a boy toy, sweet chin music with my number 1 pick in this draft. So got to go with that. Now,
Sweet chin music. God, you guys, this is why I hate going number 1, because you're taking all the ones that I want. I love when he starts tuning up the band too, when he starts stomping his feet. You're like groggy. You're not sure what's going to happen. But it can also it is also a move that can come out of nowhere where you think you're good. You think you're good to go. You're going to jump off the top rope. You think you got Shawn Michaels dazed and confused, and then he just turns around and hits you midair with the sweet chin music. Nothing like it.
Now, my second finisher move, it may not be the most devastating move in the history of wrestling, but I know that this one is a fan favorite, and that, to me, would be the People's Elbow. When The Rock does the People's Elbow, he pulls off his elbow pad. You know that devastation is coming. So I am going with the People's Elbow for my number 2 pick here in this Friday's draft.
Another great move, even though it's a setup move, but I like it. I'll let the fans decide. I'll let the fans decide. But yeah, when he kicks the arms, throws the elbow pad, goes rope to rope, and then does the little arm jiggly thingy and then hits you with that People's Elbow. Another move where the fans just go nuts.
All right. Here we are. We got the next one.
Drum roll, please. Is that the Kevin Nash Jackknife Powerbomb?
It is the Kevin Nash Jackknife Powerbomb. Actually, we call it the Diesel Powerbomb.
The Diesel?
You know, yeah, because he was Big Daddy Cool Diesel way before he was that dumb outsider guy.
Yeah, my biggest memory of Kevin Nash and his Jackknife Powerbomb is when he tried it on The Big Show, known as the Giant at the time, and he got him up, and he didn't rotate him all the way over, and he dropped him straight on his head with all 400, 500 pounds. And he went out for a really long time, and everybody thought, oh, man, he's not getting up. All right, so that leaves me with a lot but a little. You guys took a lot of the electric ones, so I'm going to go with a few. I'm going to go with 2 classics here, and I don't know if I want to do it. Yeah, I got to do it. I'm going to go with the Ric Flair figure 4 leg lock. Got to go with that. And then I'm going to throw in, and it pains me to say it, but it's still one of the best it is probably the best submission move of all time. And I hate to say it because of who it belongs to, but I got to go the Crippler crossface.
Oh, nice. Very, very quality picks there. So we got the Crippler crossface and the figure 4 leg lock. That figure 4 leg lock, that's a classic. That's bringing you back to the good old days. I wish the Ric Flair chop was a finishing move.
Yeah.
It should be, because one of the best moves in all of wrestling.
Yes.
All right, so Scott Kaiser is now sitting there. He's probably thinking, wow, where do I go now? Where do I go into the bag of tricks?
He's going submission as well from the old school days, the mid-'90s, with the Bret Hart sharpshooter.
God, that's a good quality pick right there. I kind of wanted that one. God, that's
now
fine.
you got 2 to go.
I do. I have 2. So I'm going to go. I'm going classic 90s wrestling. When I don't know, I was a young Loudbeard, and I used to love the great gimmicks that were part of the WWF at the time. And there was a gentleman that would come out, and he would bring a giant canvas bag with a huge snake inside of it. And to me, that was the coolest thing ever when you are a 7-year-old Loudbeard. And that man, he could pull off a DDT as his finishing move anywhere in the ring at any time. And the Jake the Snake DDT finishing move, to me, is one of the greatest of all time. It's been copied and replicated many times over, but nobody did it as great as Jake the Snake.
I like that pick. Pick.
Oh, now I've got to come back. I've got to come back with something. Quality. Now, see, you going back-to-back picks, it's tough. I'm looking through. Okay, that was done. Okay, that one was already picked. Oh, yeah, this is tough. Yep, I think I've got to go with one of the best finishing moves that nobody ever talks about, and it's a pretty sneaky good pick, and that would be Scotty 2 Hotty bringing out the Worm, one of the best finishing moves in all of WWE history. So I'm going with the Worm with my 4th pick in this draft.
Oh, the Worm. Out of all the picks you could have made, that was the last one.
Didn't see that one coming, huh?
Did not.
Wild card. Loudbeard doesn't hold back. I don't hold back punches. I'll bring out anything.
Nice. I like it.
All right, and we've got our next pick coming in. Oh, no. I can't believe it. F5 coming out at you. Brock Lesnar, classic WWE Power Man with one of the best finishing moves there are. So Scotty Kaiser going with the F5, Lesnar's masterful finishing move.
All right, Loudbeard, now I'm on my last 2 picks, and there's still just so many great ones that I'm just going to have a long list of honorable mentions. I honestly feel like we should have narrowed it down to eras, because this is by far one of the hardest drafts we've ever done, but I'm going to go with 2 tag team finishers. One I'm going to do with the Dudley Boys, Dudley Death Drop, or the 3D through the table. One of the best finishers of all time. Every time you see the Dudley Boys set up the 3D through the table, it was electric. The Dudley Boys, one of the best tag teams ever. And then I got to go old school. I got to go with the Doomsday Device, Legion of Doom, Road Warriors. Wow. Good old times finishers. I'm trying to you guys kind of went all over the board. I think I hung out in the 90s too much.
Yeah, look at you. You love that era. You did. Now Dudley's is newer. There you go. But yeah, a lot of your other. Yeah,
Mike Burlon checking in. OS, the Worm, Loudbeard going for the throat.
Yes. Yeah, you got to go with the big ones. And I still have a 5th pick to come out of my
Can I change
bag
my
of
5th
tricks.
pick? Can I change my 5th pick?
I guess so.
I want to go Stank Face.
Oh, look at you. Now you okay. That takes one off of my bag of tricks. Gotta go stink face. All right.
I'm going to go stink face. Rikishi stink face.
Yeah, that's a good choice there. You're lucky Scott hadn't picked yet, because if he would have picked, then I would have said Nolan Boyd.
Yeah.
All right,
But
Scott.
Jim Cathcart did follow us. Thank you, Jim Cathcart. He's a Golden Gavel Award winner in 2001, author of 19 books, Speaker Hall of Fame. Ooh, how do you become in the Speaker Hall of Fame? Sales and Marketing Hall of Fame, former NSA president. What man, we are Jim Cathcart. Welcome to Scout Team, buddy.
Yeah, I'm glad when people follow us that are awesome like that.
Yeah.
Way to be awesome.
Scott Kaiser's having a hard time with his last pick.
Oh, yeah, he's struggling. He knows that. He's like, should I go off
Now he
the
knows what it's
walls,
like. He
off
knows what the
rails,
pressure is
or
like.
do I go serious? I know he's got a lot of them that he's looking at, and I'm the same way. Right now, I've got a list of probably 10 different moves that I could throw out here. Do I go funny or do I go serious? What do I do?
Oh, he's going with, is that Shane McMahon moonsault?
Oh, it is the backflip, right?
What is that move called? Hold on. I don't think this is moonsault. I feel like the moonsault you start off backwards. Let me see what that's called. Shane McMahon
Yeah.
finisher.
He's going to write in. He's going to be like, dude, you guys suck. Oh, no, I had to find a GIF that worked.
Is that what he said?
Yeah. That one does work. That's what it is.
Okay, what is it called so we can
Give
down?
us the official name here. We need an official name. Oh, the Shooting Star Press.
Oh, the Shooting
Okay.
Stars. Damn it! I
All
forgot
right.
one that I wanted to put in there, and now I feel like I lost it. I can't replace anymore.
All right, what was it so I can pick it?
No. I'll mention it in my honorable mentions. Go ahead with your last pick.
So this is for you, Mike Berlon. Mike Berlon last night mentioned this move on his show, Craft Brewed Sports, and he said that this would be advice for Scotty to be able to win. And Scotty didn't take his advice, but I'm taking the advice. This is the only move that ever sent a man to the hospital for ripping his asshole apart, and that would be the bucking bronco. That's right. X-Pac has been hospitalized where he's had to have his butt reattached because he had hurt it so bad doing such a hard bucking bronco on his opponents. So the X-Pac bucking bronco is my final pick. And that was a tough pick. I'll be honest with you. I didn't want to have to pull it out, but I really needed something that was going to help me at the end here. And you know what? We need to hear some honorable mentions. Scotty, make sure you hit us up, and then you give us some of your honorable mentions because we'll read them here on air because there are so many that we have missed at this point.
Well, there's one that I'm kicking myself now for, Loudbeard, and that's the 5-star Frog Splash by RVD. Oh,
that's
like
positive. That's a good one.
Like the amount of hang time he gets on that thing is ridiculous. Gosh, I mean, you have the RKO, which is just basically the Diamond Cutter. I used to love Diamond Dallas Page. The Diamond Cutter is out there. We missed the Macho Man Randy Savage elbow. Oh, man, the Cobra Clutch. I'm trying to think now. We had the Walls of Jericho. Oh, yes, Loudbeard does do it. He goes with the bucking bronco. The pedigree. We missed
Rock
out on
bottom.
the pedigree. The
Scott
rock
Kaiser
bottom.
just tweeted in the rock bottom. Very, very good choice. I had the rock bottom there. Razor's Edge, Razor Ramon, the classic. I love the Razor's Edge. The jackhammer from Goldberg.
Yes.
That was devastating.
Now, here's one that I thought was the most ridiculous, but it was one that I could easily do, and that was the Lex Luger torture rack.
Oh, nice. Nice.
The Lex
that was a
Luger
good
torture rack was, I still do it on the kids every once in a while.
Now, with my last pick, I was up in the air. I almost pulled out. There's two other ones that I thought about bringing, but because Bucking Bronco got mentioned on the show last night, I thought I had to do it. But it was the mandible claw, but when Mr. Sacco would come out and give the good old Sacco claw, that was the best and the worst at the exact same time. And then I don't know if you remember this guy, Santino Marella.
Yes, that's who I was just about to mention.
The Cobra. Worst finishing move, but best finishing move, all at the same time. I love the Cobra.
Did you ever see that video where he puts because it's a sock that looks like a snake, and I think it was like the Great Khali and then some other Indian guy came up and they started playing the little cobra flutes. And like it was enchanting it, and he didn't know what to do, and then it turned on himself. Pure comedy gold.
That was great.
And what's funny about Santino is he started off with they had that Umaga guy, and he was undefeated, and so they were somewhere, and they said bring a guy out of the crowd, and he like managed to beat Umaga, and it was supposed to be just some random schmo out of the crowd, and he beats him, and he becomes the first guy to beat him. That's how his wrestling career got started.
Hey, whatever works for you, man. But the Cobra, awesome. And Scott chiming in, he's also given the classic Spear. Spear is a good
but
one.
He picked the wrong guy to do it. The best Spear ever was by
Goldberg.
Rhino with the gore.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's
from
true. That one's good.
ECW.
And then honorable mention to Booker T's scissor kick. Oh yeah, that would get the crowd going. Booker T, crowd favorite, man. That was one of those guys that WCW leaving and him going to WWE once WCW collapsed really killed his career. Like he was never the same. I thought
he just took a different direction. I think his career was a lot bigger. He just became that bad guy. And anybody who has a move called the Spin-a-Rooney is okay in my book.
Good point. The Spin-a-Rooney. Oh, what
and it wasn't even a move.
Draft,
it was just
Chris
a
America.
setup. Yeah, I think this was a great topic. We could have made 20 picks, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and I wanted to talk about Lesnar. He's going to have a fight coming up with Daniel Cormier. We don't even have time for that because all we did was talk about these finishing moves, and I prefer talking about crazy finishing moves over talking about serious sports topics any day of the week. And on that note, we are going to take a week off next week. We're going on vacation. We're going to call it a mental break, and we will be back better than ever the following week. So make sure you all continue to listen in. We will try to put up some old episodes, maybe some best of stuff, send it over, and have it playing in the mornings for you. We love you guys, and have a wonderful weekend.
Peace. Have a great week next week, guys.
At Scout Team Radio, we're going to put a poll up. Vote for Loudbeard as your favorite finisher move in this draft.
Chris America needs the win. Don't vote for that Scotty Kaiser guy. He's not even part of the Scout Team.